Hi, welcome to Understated Minds. Chapter 2. The first 90 seconds decide everything. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room, met someone new, and just felt like they already had an opinion about you? Not because they said anything, but because you could sense it. Maybe it was a job interview, a first date, or a group hangout where everyone seemed to click except you. And in your head, you're thinking, wait, they don't even know me yet. And you're right, they don't know you yet. But here's the uncomfortable truth. They don't need to, because your brain, and theirs, makes a judgment way before the conversation really starts. In fact, research shows people form a strong impression of you in the first 90 seconds, sometimes even faster. And no, this isn't about being shallow or rude. It's about how the human brain is wired. Today, I'm going to break down why people judge you so fast, what they're actually judging, and how you can quietly shift those first impressions without faking confidence or changing who you are. Let's get into it. The brain is lazy, and that's not an insult. It's efficient. First, you need to understand one thing about the human brain. It loves shortcuts. Your brain is constantly asking one simple question. Is this person safe, competent, and worth my attention? And it wants the answer. Fast. Why? Because for most of human history, hesitation was dangerous. If someone approached your tribe, you didn't have 20 minutes to analyze their personality. You had seconds. So the brain evolved to make snap judgments, using limited information. Even today, when you meet someone new, your brain is scanning for clues like, do they seem confident or unsure? Do they feel calm or tense? Are they predictable or chaotic? Do they belong here? And it does all of this before you finish saying your name. That's why first impressions feel instant. Because they are. What people think they're judging versus what they're actually judging. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think people are judging my looks, my accent, my clothes, how attractive I am. But that's only surface level. What people are actually judging is something much simpler. Your emotional signal. Not your words, not your resume, not your Instagram bio, your vibe. And yes, vibe is a real psychological thing, even if it sounds vague. Your brain is constantly reading emotional cues from others. Tone of voice, pace of movement, eye contact, facial tension, pauses, posture. All of these combine into one quiet question. How does this person make me feel? If the feeling is calm, trust goes up. If the feeling is rushed, resistance goes up. If the feeling is grounded, respect goes up. People don't remember what you said in the first 90 seconds. They remember how their body felt around you. The 90-second window. Why it's so powerful. Here's something. Wild. Once that first impression forms, the brain doesn't just move on, it starts defending it. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. If someone decides you're confident in the first 90 seconds, they'll interpret everything you do through that lens. Silence feels thoughtful, pauses feel intentional, calmness feels leadership. But if they decide you're unsure, silence feels awkward, pauses feel hesitant, calmness feels detached. Same behavior, completely different interpretation. That's why first impressions are so sticky. They don't just shape how people see you, they shape how people explain you to themselves. Why talking more often hurts first impressions. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. In the first 90 seconds, talking more usually hurts you. Why? Because when you talk fast, over-explain, or fill every silence, Your nervous system is signaling something, whether you mean to or not. It often signals seeking approval, nervous energy, lack of internal certainty, and people pick up on that instantly. Meanwhile, someone who pauses before speaking, lets silence exist, chooses words carefully, gets labeled as confident, thoughtful, self-assured, even if they say less. This is why the calmest person in the room often feels like the most powerful one, even if they barely speak. Your body speaks before you do. Here's the part nobody likes to hear. Your body language is already talking before your mouth even opens. In those first 90 seconds, people subconsciously notice. Are your shoulders tight? Are your movements rushed? Are you fidgeting? Are you leaning back or collapsing inward? None of this is about posing or trying to look alpha. It's about regulation. A regulated nervous system sends a clear signal. I'm comfortable being here. And comfort is contagious. When someone feels calm around you, their brain relaxes. When their brain relaxes, they trust more. And when trust rises, judgment softens. Why confidence isn't loud and never was. Hollywood lied to us. Confidence isn't loud. It's not dominance. It's not charisma turned up to 11. Real confidence shows up in slower movements, fewer words, steady eye contact, relaxed pauses. Think about the people you instantly respect. They don't rush. They don't explain themselves endlessly. They don't fight for attention. They assume presence. And in the first 90 seconds, assumption is everything. Here's the biggest mistake people make in first impressions. They try to perform instead of arrive. They're thinking, say something smart. Don't be awkward. Make a good impression. And all of that mental noise leaks into their behavior. Here's the irony. The harder you try to control the impression, the less grounded you appear. People don't trust perfection, they trust ease. How to instantly improve first impressions without acting. Let's get practical. Here are a few subtle shifts that work especially well in social and professional settings. First, slow down, just 10%. You don't need to move in slow motion, just stop rushing. People subconsciously associate calm pacing with competence, especially in work, leadership, and dating contexts. Second, pause before you speak. A 1-second pause before responding signals thoughtfulness, not hesitation. It tells the other person, I'm present, not reactive. Third, let the other person finish. Interrupting, even slightly, lowers perceived status fast. Let people land their thoughts fully. Fourth, say less, but mean it. Short, clear sentences land harder than long explanations. Clarity feels confident. And finally, be comfortable with silence. Silence isn't empty. It's space. And space feels powerful. People will judge you in the first 90 seconds. That's human. But what they're really judging is not your worth. It's your emotional signal. And the moment you stop trying to win the first impression, you start shaping it naturally. Because calm is contagious. Presence is memorable. And people don't remember perfection. They remember how you made them feel, and that's all I have to say in this video.